My name is Lillian, and this is the story of how my nanny stole my husband, but I will start by telling you how I met my husband. I used to be a plus-size girl when I met my husband 5 years ago at the NYSC camp in Port Harcourt when I went for my youth service. When I got my call-up letter, I was not pleased with where I was posted because I wanted to serve in Abuja where I lived, so I decided that after the 3 weeks in camp, I would redeploy back to Abuja. Because I don't make friends easily, it was hard to be close to anyone or associate with people, but after a week in camp, I met a girl called Bella and we became friends. Even though I made other friends, Bella was the one that was very close to me and she became my best friend. While we were discussing one afternoon, Bella told me of a fine guy she met in her platoon and her plans to ask him out. We laughed over it because her plan was funny, but deep down, I knew that she was going to ask the guy out. That same evening, I met a guy whose name was Ben and we started talking. He was easy to talk to and friendly, so we exchanged numbers. I told Bella that I had also met my own fine guy and she was very eager to meet him. The next day, I introduced Bella to Ben, and when he left, she told me he was the same guy she wanted to ask out, and I was surprised at the coincidence. She begged me to give her Ben's number because she really liked him, and because she was my friend, I gave it to her. She called him immediately in front of me and they agreed on a place to meet. When she came back, she told me that she poured her heart to him, but he said he wasn't attracted to her because he liked someone else. I consoled her and lost hope too because I also had a crush on him. The day before we left camp, Ben called and said he wanted to see me. When I came, he told me that he turned my friend down because he liked me and would want to be my boyfriend. I wasn't expecting it, but I was happy and told him that I liked him too. I agreed to be his girlfriend, and that was how we started dating. I didn't know how Bella was going to react, but surprisingly when I told her, she was very happy for me and congratulated me. The next day before we left camp, we were given our PPA letters, and luckily for Ben and I, our redeployment to Abuja worked, so we traveled together. Bella told me she was staying back in Port Harcourt because she wanted to, so we hugged and said our goodbyes, but we promised to stay in touch. 2 years after our NYSC, I was still dating Ben and Bella was still my friend, but because there were no jobs, I opened a restaurant called Tasty Fingers through the help of my parents, and because the restaurant was doing well, I called Bella to come over to Abuja and work with me for the meantime until she gets a better job, because she had not gotten a job since we finished service. I gave her the position of my accountant because she was my friend and I trusted her so much. I also paid her every month and allowed her to live with me since she didn't know anyone else here. Ben, on the other hand, was working in a tech company and the pay was good. 2 months after Bella joined me in Abuja, Ben proposed to me. It was the happiest day of my life because I get to spend the rest of my life with the man of my dreams. We had our engagement party and started preparing for our wedding immediately. I made Bella my chief bridesmaid and made sure she was involved in everything because she knew Ben and I very well. My wedding day finally came and I was so happy that my joy couldn't be contained. Bella was also very active at my wedding. She made sure everything was put in place and ready at the right time. It was a joyful day, but I never knew that something big and shocking was ahead of me, waiting patiently to be revealed. I moved into my husband's house immediately after our wedding and gave Bella the apartment where we lived. 2 months after my wedding, I became pregnant. Ben and I were excited and we started planning for our new addition. When I became 7 months pregnant, I found out that something strange was going on in my business. I noticed that some money was always missing at the end of sales every day. I didn't really want to suspect Bella because I trusted her and didn't believe she could steal from me. So I called her and showed her the reports, and when she looked at it, she told me that she made some mistakes with the figures and that I had nothing to worry about, so I let it go. I finally gave birth 2 months later to a beautiful set of twin boys, and because of that, I had to leave Bella in charge of my business so that I can take my maternity leave. She brought the business report for me every day and I would go through it and see that everything was okay. When I returned back to work, I told Bella that I would need a nanny who can live with me and help take care of my children whenever I'm not around. I told her that I needed one quickly because my mother, who had been helping me out, would be leaving soon. I also told her that the nanny has to be someone who can take care of the house, and she promised to help me find one. 1 week later, Bella came to my house with a man, and when I asked her who he was, she said that he was the nanny. I was surprised because I was expecting a female nanny, but she told me not to worry because a male nanny is more efficient. She also told me that I won't have to worry about somebody stealing my husband, and we laughed over it. I started the interview process with the man and found out that his name was James and he has been a nanny for 3 years. So I hired him because of the good recommendation he has from his previous places of work, and also because Bella brought him. Truthfully, he was a good worker because my kids were well taken care of and my house was always neat and tidy. I had time now to focus on my business, and I was grateful to Bella for that. One evening when we were preparing to close the restaurant for the day, one of my staffs came to my office. She said that she wanted to tell me something very important, but that she couldn't say it in the office because someone might hear them. I began to imagine what was so important that couldn't be said in my office, but I decided to listen to her because she was one of my diligent staffs, and I was also curious about what she wanted to tell me. So after work, I gave her a ride so that we could discuss on the way. She started by telling me that Bella was not someone to be trusted because she was a bad person. I told her not to say such because I've known Bella for a long time, but she told me to listen to her and know why she said so. I had to look for a good spot to park the car so that I could hear what she had to say. She told me that Bella has been stealing my money ever since she started working in my restaurant, and when I asked her how she knew, she said that she had seen Bella changing the figures so many times. Even though I suspected this when I was pregnant, I didn't want to believe it, but hearing it from someone else meant that it could be true. She said she couldn't say anything earlier because she didn't know if I would believe her, but she finally decided to tell me because she couldn't take it anymore. I thanked her for the information and dropped her off. When I got home, I made a decision to catch Bella red-handed and sent a message to my staffs telling them not to come to work the next day because I wanted to do some maintenance checks, but the truth was that I wanted to install CCTV cameras in the restaurant and I didn't want any of them to know. The cameras were installed round the restaurant in spots where it couldn't be seen easily, and I could see everything going on from my laptop. Deep down, I really hoped that my suspicion was wrong at the end. The following day, everyone including Bella came to work and didn't notice the cameras that had been installed. The day quickly came to an end and I started watching Bella from my laptop because I knew that she would be counting the money, calculating and writing the sales report for the day, and what I saw shocked me. Bella divided the money into 2 equal parts, took half of it and changed the figures in the report book. I couldn't believe what I saw, and because I didn't want to make any hasty decision, I decided to go home and think of a better approach. While on my way home and still in shock and saddened by what Bella did, I didn't know that I would meet the biggest shock of my life in my house. Because I have a key to my house, I entered and saw the sitting room looking very untidy with papers everywhere. I was surprised because ever since I employed the nanny, my house has never been unkept. I wanted to call him, but I heard laughter from upstairs, so I decided to check. When I got upstairs, I heard the laughter from I and my husband's bedroom and assumed my husband was back because he traveled, but how could he come back without telling me? As I was about to open the door, I heard another male voice that sounded like my nanny's voice saying,
"The best thing to do is to kill her and we would be free to love each other and also have everything to ourselves. I'm tired of hiding because of that woman."
I thought I was hearing things because what kind of love would be going on between my nanny, who is a man, and my husband? I finally opened the door and the sight before me shocked me. I saw my nanny and my husband on our matrimonial bed, and they were very shocked when they saw me because they weren't expecting to see me. I just broke down and started crying because I couldn't understand why all these things were happening to me. I just found out that my best friend was stealing my hard-earned money, and now my husband was cheating on me with my male nanny. What did I do to deserve this, and where did I go wrong? I thought I knew my husband, but it turned out that I didn't know the man I was married to. How was it that I never knew he was gay? I demanded for an explanation from my husband, and he said that he would tell me everything. He told me that he had always liked women and men, but he couldn't tell me because he loved me so much and didn't want to lose me. He told me that he had been cheating on me with different men and wanted to keep it a secret, but Bella found out and started blackmailing him. He said that for the past 1 year, he had been paying Bella 500,000 naira every month to keep the secret from me. While I was still in shock, my nanny confessed that Bella sent him to destroy my home. He said that he was paid to seduce my husband and kill my children, but he couldn't kill them because of the love he had for my husband, and I was just thinking of how my best friend of over 5 years could do this to me. I had to find out her reasons for this, so I called her to come to my house immediately. When she came, she saw me crying and pretended to show concern, but I told her that I knew everything she had been doing to me and asked her why she did them. Without any remorse, she told me that she had always been jealous of me. She also said that she had not forgiven me for stealing Ben from her. She said that she enjoyed seeing me in pain and had never seen me as a friend because I was living the life she was supposed to be living. I was in so much pain and was just crying because of everything Bella said, and she was not even remorseful. I sent her out of my house and my life and told her never to come to my restaurant again. As for my husband, he decided to leave the house that night with my nanny, but before he left, he gave me divorce papers and said that he didn't want to have anything to do with me or our children because he had been unhappy in the marriage. I couldn't do anything but cry and watch the man I thought I loved walk away from me. Days passed and I was still grieving the loss of my husband and best friend, so I had to call my parents, and after telling them what happened, I begged them to help me take care of my children while I organized myself. It was hard and painful, but I decided to move on with my life, so I signed the divorce papers and my marriage to Ben was officially over. I started handling my business finances by myself because I couldn't trust anyone. With the help of my parents, my kids were well catered for, and after a while, I was back to my normal self. 3 months later, I received a call from Bella's sister who told me that Bella was involved in an accident and she died on the spot. I was sad because even though she hurt me, I never wished for her to die. I offered my condolences to her sister, and after ending the call, I decided to forgive my husband for my peace of mind. I focused on taking care of myself, my children, and growing my restaurant, and within 2 years, Tasty Fingers became a household name. My restaurant became so successful and I opened 3 more branches. I made new friends and built stronger friendships and connections. My husband also came begging, but I didn't take him back. My story may have been sad at some point, but it turned into a happy one at the end, and now I'm surrounded by people who genuinely love me. My advice to everyone is that you should never let any unpleasant situation stop you. Learn to let go and move on because something better awaits you.